From the end of Henry VIII's reign to the beginning of Elizabeth I's reign, a new and popular style of architecture would reign supreme, that style being that of the Tudor house. In the late 15th century and on into the mid-16th century, the white walls and dark frame of the Tudor house make it instantly recognizable and iconic for the Elizabethan era. Tudor houses were cheap enough to build that the average commoner would be able to afford one no problem, while at the same time a Tudor house was fancy enough that the high-class rich folk would be more than happy to live in one. So how do you build a Tudor house? You are probably not asking. Well, even though you didn't ask, I'm going to tell you anyway, so buckle up. One of the first steps to building a Tudor house after laying the foundation is to build its frame. The frame of a Tudor house is an incredibly intricate design where timbers are placed both horizontally, vertically, and diagonally. The reason for the intricate design of the frame is because the frame is visible on the outside of the house. After you've finished building your frame, your next step is to go on a walk in the woods. Now, aside from being a great way to stay in shape, this is also how you're going to collect some more building materials. Now, you may be asking yourself, what building materials can you get in the woods aside from more logs? Well, the answer to that question is simple: sticks. Now, you also may be asking yourself this: why would I need sticks to build a house? Didn't the Three Little Pigs prove that to be a stupid idea? Well, yes, but the Three Little Pigs didn't cover their house in daub, a material made out of sand, clay, and dung, which makes a house as strong as concrete. But one of the main drawbacks of daub is its color. Who would have thought that using dung as a building material wouldn't look very pretty? So what you're going to do is you're going to take some lime wash and bleach the surface. This will not only make your house look fancier, it'll also make it not look like crap, quite literally. After you're done spraying the daub, your next course of action is to coat the timbers of your house in tar. This will prevent the wood from rotting over time and will give your house a nicer aesthetic. Yes, the dark wood on the white daub looks very good, at least in my opinion. And if you disagree with me, you are wrong. Next step is to go on another walk, but this time in a farm. And the reason for this is to collect as much straw as possible. And you're going to want to do this as quickly as possible, as I'm sure the farmer is not very happy that you're stealing all his straw. So why do you need all the straw? To build your roof. Why do you want a roof? Well, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you liked being rained on that much. So congratulations, you're done building your house, and now you can add the less important stuff, such as windows, doors, and maybe some heating. Now, at this point, you may be wondering, so what does all this have to do with Shakespeare? Get to the point. And to that I say, calm down, we're getting to it. So to understand why this topic is important to Shakespeare, first you need to understand that Shakespeare was born in 1564, right around the time when people realized that Tudor houses are more effort than they're worth. Mainly in part to the fact that you would very easily get hurt or exhausted working on one of these houses. So, seeing as this is 16th century England and people didn't travel very far, Shakespeare would be spending the better part of his life living around these sorts of buildings. And when he had the Globe Theatre built in 1599, it was clearly inspired by the design of the Tudor houses, with its thatched roof, its daub exterior, and timber frame. It's very clear to see that the Globe Theatre draws direct inspiration from the Tudor houses. Unfortunately, though, the original Globe Theatre would burn down 14 years later in 1613 during a showing of Henry VIII when a prop cannon misfired, causing sparks to fly into the thatched roof, setting it alight. Fortunately, the only injuries sustained were to a man whose pants caught on fire, though he was able to put it out by pouring alcohol on it. I wouldn't recommend it, but it worked out for him, so who knows. I bet you thought that's all I had to say, but if you haven't noticed, there's still a minute and a half left of this video, and I'm not trying to get marked down. So, Globe Theatre to Electric Boogaloo. Built in 1614, this was the theater built just 2 years before William Shakespeare would die, which would happen on his birthday, which has to be the world's worst birthday party. So the theater would only be around for about 30 years before the Puritans would take over Parliament, and would have all the theaters in all of England shut down, for the sole reason that they believed that theaters whose sole purpose was to spread lies about God. Soon after the Puritans took power, the theater would be torn down in order to make room for tenements, a form of old-time apartment complex, as they felt that the space was better used for housing as opposed to the theater. After that, people had more or less forgotten where the theater had been until the year 1989, upon which a group of construction workers had been digging up a parking lot when they discovered the foundation of the Globe Theater, where the new one that is currently used, the third iteration, stands today. Today, if you wish to visit the Globe Theatre, you can find it in London, England, on 21 New Globe Walk, just next to the River Thames. Okay, and with that, thank you for putting up with my presentation for as long as you have. Thank you again. I am out of here.